And this week, we're staying with the Dragon Ball superhero theme for another week because, the film's still newish at this point. And we want to discuss it a bit more, so spoiler alert in advance. But today, we're going to be talking about Dr. Hedo and whether or not he should continue with his plan to make more Gammas, I guess. He created Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, but now he's a good guy fighting on the right side. So should he create more Gammas? That's what we're going to discuss. So, what do you think?
Because one of my first things when we first saw it is I thought, should he replace Gamma 2? Because I kind of thought that he probably would. I always thought there would always be a pair. So I thought he would originally plan to replace Gamma 2 anyway. I mean, creating an army, I wouldn't necessarily say there would be, but having like a security force, especially when Gamma 1's been set as like a head of security.
Yeah. Okay, let's say he creates 10 Gammas, and then that's basically equal to, the Tournament of Power team, and he has these 10 Gammas, which are insanely powerful. Is it a good idea?
Those 10 could arguably take out pretty much, or arguably put up a hell of a fight against
anyone.
The majority of the Dragon team.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd probably lose based on what they are, but they'd be very difficult.
Yeah, 100%. Especially since they were like handling Piccolo with ease until you guys power up. They were even doing decent against Gohan as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty much. Two of them would be non-powered up Gohan, non-beast Gohan, basically. It took a lot to get to Gohan to where he was prior to doing his final transformation. And we don't know if he can get back to that.
Yeah, who knows? It's the power of love, I guess, that made him go beast mode.
Love. Yeah. Angry love is what got him there. And so we don't know if he can get back to that. We're pretty sure that I'm pretty confident Piccolo can jump in and out of his transformation.
Yeah.
His seems to be quite outright, but Gohan less so. So I would say it's very dangerous territory. Hedo is he seems to have somewhat good intentions.
Yeah, I think he does have good intentions. Like his whole
the Gammas more so.
Yeah, but they're programmed by him, so he programmed them to be like that because his like whole
say they're sentient.
Yeah, of course. But his whole backstory was how he watched superhero films. He took inspiration. He was a big fan and wanted to basically be a superhero, but then instead created his own superheroes.
But he knew fully well who the Red Ribbon Army were.
He did, but he was only doing that because he wanted to make these superheroes so badly, and they were the only ones who were able to give him enough money to fund it.
And then he saw that the Red Ribbon Army were acting up and that they were clearly the bad guys. So even if he knew that he thought that Capsule Corp were the bad guys, he could still clearly see that the Red Ribbon were bad guys, and he was still happy to work with them.
Yeah, but at the time...
He had the Gammas. They were there. They existed, and he was still working alongside them. Both the Gammas were incredibly powerful and fully functioning at that point, and he still didn't walk away.
This is true.
The Gammas could have killed everybody in that room, and they were bad guys. So arguably, superheroes, there was no reason why they arguably shouldn't. If they were willing to destroy the Capsule Corps, who were bad guys, in his mind anyway, why wouldn't they have stopped the Red Ribbon Army, who were bad guys?
I think it's a bit of a dilemma because Hedo needed the lab and the equipment and the money to continue making improvements and stuff, whilst he also knows Red Ribbon's bad. He doesn't know the full extent of just how bad Capsule Corp is. So it's either you side with one evil to take down a potentially bigger evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dilemma he was in right there. And he accepted that. he knew they were bad, but he thought he was stopping an even bigger bad.
Yeah. I think a part of him knew he was doing wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I would say the Gammas, they were sentient they were more sentient, and I would say they're more good than Hedo. Because
Yeah.
they were much easily turned
to
the good side than Hedo was. They literally got talked around much easier.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Gamma 2 I would say Gamma 2 got turned first.
Yeah.
And he was literally talked around very quickly. I mean, you could tell during the final fight that he was getting convinced. And it's what
Piccolo,
basically made him batter Piccolo, because he was getting so upset, because he was already convinced and he knew he'd been doing wrong, or he was on the side of wrong.
Hedo still got his not comeuppance, his like redemption story arc, kind of, I guess. He noticed slightly late potentially, but he did actively try and stop Carmine and Magenta at the end when they were running back to the lab, when he knew they were gonna try and wake up Max Cell. He actively tried to stop them. And yeah, he was warning them at the end that Cell's being unleashed, where his weak point is, all this other stuff. He was actively helping at the end. Yes, he realized a bit late. But, even throughout, before the fights and stuff, he was actively arguing the fact that this is wrong, we shouldn't be kidnapping kids, and all this stuff. He was the one pointing that out, and he was just kind of shut down by Magenta, saying, just stay away.
Yeah.
Keep your nose out.
He didn't stay away, but he was still going along with it.
Yeah. But, he knew it was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think in the end, the Gammas changed before Hedo did.
Yeah, but also the Gammas were there in the room when the kidnapping and stuff happened, and they just kind of stood there and let it happen.
That is true.
They also knew it was wrong, but they didn't try to actively stop it.
Yeah, and they did just use the excuse of, we're just following orders.
Yeah. Which technically, I guess...
excuse.
Yeah, but technically, I guess Hedo was doing the same thing. He's being allowed to do this work because of Magenta and Carmine, so he was following orders by just letting it happen. But that obviously, it's not the route he wanted to take, but he was kind of backed into a corner. It's either do this or we're kicking you out and you can't continue doing your work.
Yeah. But I suppose, all in all, it doesn't suggest that they themselves are bad guys. It just suggests that they have a questionable moral compass. So you would think that in that term, that if you kept an eye on them, there's no real reason why they couldn't have a security force created.
Yeah.
But it would be risky to do.
No, I mean, I see Hedo kind of like the Jesse Pinkman of Dragon Ball at the minute. Obviously, Jesse in Breaking Bad, everyone loves Jesse, but he's selling drugs, he's murdering a few people along the way, but he's still a good guy. He just wants to live his life and stuff. He gets caught up in the wrong crowd, and that's kind of Dr. Hedo, at least for the first half of the movie. But yeah, I don't know. I think now he kind of begged Bulma for a job at the end, and Bulma accepted him. Said, yeah, we can work together. I'm curious to say I think he'll definitely bring back Gamma 2, at least.
Yeah. I think there always has to be two of them.
Yeah, because Gamma 1 on his own, 2 was such a popular character in the new movie. Everyone loves 2 more than 1, I would say. I've never seen anyone really raving about Gamma 1 as much. People like the Gammas in general, but people are more specifically talking about Gamma 2. And he's the one that died at the end of the film. And I understand why. You needed one of the characters to stand out more than the other, so that they can take the emotional damage and bring the plot back to a sinking feeling, oh my god, this new character that we all love just died. Because it could have happened another way where like Gamma 1 realizes like, Gamma 2's been the playful one this whole time, saying, "Well, we need to be superheroes and all this stuff," and Gamma 1's the one who does the ultimate sacrifice, saying, "Yes, this time I'm actually going to be a superhero," and he does the self-sacrifice. But I don't think it would hit the same because no one has really connected as much with Gamma 1 compared to Gamma 2. So it made sense, but also they made him popular, and now I think since Hedo said he can create these gammas quite easily, he would bring him back. Why wouldn't he?
Because 1 could fade from existence very easily, 2 less so.
Yeah.
If people are going to buy like, for instance, an action figure of the 2, they're going to buy 2.
Probably, yeah. Are they going to buy 2, or are you going to buy the pair together?
Yeah, basically.
Number 1, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think there always has to be 2 of them because they're a duo. It just makes sense. I think there's definitely gonna they're gonna become background characters anyway. I don't think they're gonna have a big spot in the show. Full stop.
Probably.
Yeah, I can't really see it happening. There's too many characters. Yeah, there is.
It's true. Yeah, they have got to the point where there's too many.
Whenever they go back to Capture Court to see Bulma or something like that, they'll maybe be working in the background at the lab, and they'll be like, "Hey, Hedo, hey, Gamma," and it'll just be those 2 acting kooky in the background, and they'll be like, "Hey, 2's back." The hell, yeah, something like that. Just something like that. There won't be anything major.
They'll kind of take over like every other side character, like Tien and Krillin. Even Krillin, which is a shame. He fell down the pecking order so fast. He was a main, like the second main character in OG. He's still like a main character in Z pretty much all the way through, especially in the early arcs with Frieza. Like he's one of the people who goes to Namek. But he slowly goes down as more characters get introduced, and it's such a shame since he was a main. But now in Super, we see him hardly ever, and it's like, all right. But yeah, I agree that the Gammas will probably be in the same vein.
Krillin was literally a laughing stock in Superhero.
Yeah,
I brought all of Earth's mightiest warriors and Krillin. Like, wow.
Such a shame. Slam dunked. But yeah, the Gammas will take a role similar to Krillin, I think. They will be central enough characters to be around, but they're never really going to have many shining moments, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
But they could definitely be a major security force for the planet.
Yeah.
So, like, if something like what you had in Resurrection F was to happen, you could look at it as like where you've got like in like Iron Man 3, where it's got like Tony Stark has loads of Iron Man suits to just throw at people. It's the same principle.
Yeah, there's like
loads of they're essentially disposable bodies that you can just throw at somebody. And if you wanted a big battle, you could literally have that, because you'd have loads of these disposable good guys that you could use, and that would be actually kind of cool.
It would be.
You wouldn't need to worry about losing your main characters as much.
It would be cool for a one-off. But I think if they were to make, for example, 10 or even maybe 5, maybe even 5, it kind of diminishes Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. We were introduced to them. They were given their own unique personalities. The more that you bring in, the more it's like you kind of just group them all together. It's kind of like Trunks and Goten. They're so similar at this point that they hardly stand out, and they're always together. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 were different enough where you can distinguish them quite easily, even though they pretty much look the same, but they act completely different. Trunks and Goten act pretty much the same. If you have 10 Gammas or 5 Gammas, however many, you're not going to give them all that many different unique personalities when they're working as a team. So they're going to kind of start to blend together a bit.
This is why I think they should keep it similar to what they did with basically what they had with like 17 and 18. and 16, where they were like kept in the pods until they were needed.
Yeah.
So like you had like you've got 1 and 2 who can walk about and be themselves,
Mm-hmm.
because 1's already out there. He needs his partner, so you have 2 as characters walking about, and then when a threat comes, release the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
all coming out, something like that, and then you can have your big battle. You have your disposable bodies, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have like this. They don't really need a face, so to speak.
Mm.
You get your fight, you get the satisfaction from it. You can still focus on 1 and 2. They still have their personality. You can see that they can get angry because they can still see their brothers. Like they're still losing their brothers, because to them it means something because they're built alongside them, so they can still get it. There's still some impact to them, so you can get it vicariously through them.
Yeah.
You'll get the big fight, so you can still get, but again, a one-off.
Mm.
I think it could be quite cool
I
because
almost see them kind of like the Power Rangers, because
yeah,
Gamma 1, red, Gamma 2, blue.
I think that's what they're supposed to be,
Yeah,
basically.
sort of. Because, people, I mean, Dragon Ball does this every other year pretty much, but like Ginyu Force are kind of parodies of the Power Rangers. The Pride Troopers kind of sort of parodies as well. But also, the Gammas definitely could be. They've all got their own unique color. Well, the first two at least. If
The
you
bam, the
introduced a few
boom, the
more.
kapow, like
You what, sorry?
the bam, the boom, the
Yeah,
kapow.
exactly. Yeah, the full like comic book style. But yeah, like they could all have their own colors. They could all wear the same outfits and look similar as well. Definite Power Ranger vibes going on there. More than the Ginus and the Pride Troopers, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I would like a one-off battle with say 5 or 10 of them, but overall, I don't know if it's really the best idea to introduce that many and keep them all around.
No, it would definitely diminish 1 and 2. I think they
Mm,
would have to be like locked away. Just keep them locked away. 17, like as we met the first time we ever met, 17, 18, and 16. Just how they were in pods.
yeah.
They don't need to be active.
Mhm.
They could just have some programming where it's like, okay, we're done. We're happy to go away again. They are androids after all.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they can literally just be programmed to go away again. It's not a big deal.
Mm,
Like like Gamma 1 and 2 can have reservations about it. That's fair enough. Like like even 18, like it could actually be a mini footnote in the story where it's like they don't like it.
mm,
Um, but at the same time, um, like you could slowly address that, like just show that they don't really like it,
mm.
but it can still be part of their programming. That they do just go away again, and then you don't have to keep them out once they've been released.
Yeah, and
Um,
also, their outfits are going to slightly change as well. They're going to remove the red ribbon patch on their arms and replace it with Capsule Corp. Or, maybe Bulma will change the outfits completely, saying, yeah, they're fine, but we're giving them new clothes and just changes them up completely. Giant Capsule Corp logos all over the place promoting the brand. Since Capsule Corp is a brand after all, one of the most powerful brands in the world of Dragon Ball. So why not promote it on actual superheroes?
yeah,
Makes
I,
sense.
mm, I imagine they'd be very hesitant to change the way that 1 and 2 look. However,
Yeah, I
too
think
much.
changing the patch on the arm at least from Red Ribbon
Oh
to
yeah, they
Capsule Corp,
changed the
that makes
patch.
sense.
But
Or just removing it completely.
other than that, I don't think they'd change 1 and 2 at all. I think
Nah.
they'll keep them exactly the same otherwise.
Yeah, because like Hedo even said he didn't want the patch on the arm that was Carmine or Magenta's thing.
Mhm.
They wanted it on.
Then again, they might. I was going to say they might not put anything on them at all, but then again, if 1's going to work as head of security, it's a job.
Hmm.
So yeah, they will put it on him because it's his job. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they will.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd be happy with that. That would actually be quite cool. I mean, it was a passing thought to be honest, but I think it would be quite cool to have just this big battle.
Yeah. I think it would
Um,
be cool as well. I
but
would
it'd
like to
be
see
it
it.
would be different because all we ever tend to get for the most part in Dragon Ball is one-on-ones.
Hmm.
So have like an actual fight with like, and then you've got your actual one-on-ones in between where you get like your actual choreographed fights in between with all this chaos happening around
Mm.
would be quite interesting.
Yeah, I would love to see some sort of like tag team moves as well, because you don't even see that much. Like you've seen it a few
Flying
times.
nowhere, yeah. Just Vegeta
Yeah.
fighting off someone and then he gets thrown, but
Mm.
then recovers and ends up punching somebody else as he's coming in.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
want to see like a big group attack, like 5-on-1. See them completely destroy someone. I would like to
yeah,
see that. Because you
yeah.
don't see that. At most, you've seen like Goku and Vegeta teaming up to take on Broly, but they're both just throwing punches and kicks, and that's about it. But you never see like actual choreographed attacks. It's always just punches, and that's about it, trying to rush someone. I want to see some actual moves in there. That would be cool to see.
Or maybe it's just stuff like people are getting too close to each other and they end up just literally swapping opponents. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, in the tournament power, obviously you were getting close to each other, and then like in a lot of the tournament power, there were so many universes fighting, but they were still all individual fights.
Hmm.
You didn't really find that a lot of fights got close to each other, and universes got close to each other, and then ended up getting into brawls for the
Yeah,
most.
I would have loved to have seen a fight get interrupted. Just like I don't know.
It barely happened at all.
I don't know. I can't remember a single time it did. But imagine if like Vegeta and Top were just fighting each other, and then bam, in comes Hit, just like nope, I'm fighting you now, just jumping in out of nowhere, taking over.
Yeah, literally, I think one of the only times it happened is when Kale was in Berserker mode, and Jiren was like, "Stop now,"
Ah, yeah, yeah,
and blasted her because she was
yeah,
going too angry. Like, imagine like Vegeta's just fighting somebody, and it's getting a bit close, and Goku and someone else are fighting nearby, and they just happen to bump into each other, and Vegeta gets annoyed and starts hitting Goku's, and they end up trading or something like
mm,
that,
yeah,
because that's just a random sort of thing that they would do for fun.
yeah. Like
And then all this chaos going around them, yeah.
if you picture a gang war in your head, no one, like you don't see if there was, especially if there was 10 different gangs going after each other, you're not going to
Yeah.
see just one-on-one fights all around.
Yeah.
People are going to be teaming up, switching around constantly. It's not going to be that straightforward.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something the Gammas could do.
And the thing is, with the Gammas, you only saw one-on-ones. You
Yeah.
didn't see them. Surely they had some really cool tag team moves. Like,
Mm,
you only saw them do, like, Gamma versus Gohan, like 1 versus Gohan, 2 versus Piccolo.
mm,
But you saw them say 2 help 1,
mm.
but then Piccolo appeared.
Yeah, it's a
They
missed
must have
opportunity
had
to be
tag
honest.
They must have had tag team moves programmed into them.
Yeah.
So imagine them in a massive battle,
Mm,
like teaming up to do these unreal fights. Like they could tear through people.
yeah.
They would be so dangerous because it'll be like 17 and 18 when they fought Future Gohan.
Mm,
Like they were a force to be reckoned with, and when they teamed up.
mhm,
So basically, you would just have that all over again because
yeah.
17 and 18 don't fight together anymore. Like
Mhm,
they just don't.
yeah.
It's just even in the tournament power, they didn't really do it. They fought alongside each other, but they weren't the way they were, like, in the future.
Mm,
Like, that's not they never really because they didn't really do that.
yeah.
Yeah, they never really got a chance to fight that way. So, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are designed that way. So, seeing that from the extra ones that Hedo made, like 3 upwards,
Mm.
they were made to fight that way, so you'd get to see some of that. So I think that would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
Really bring out the potential of these characters.
Mhm. No, I agree as well. I think we've got the same mindset where a big battle would be good to see, but we don't want to overshadow the main two gammas that there already is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up this segment. I would love to know everyone's thoughts. What do you think? Should there be an army of gammas, or should they just stick with the 2? Should they up it to 5, maybe 10? Who knows? Let us know in the comments. But we're going to move on now to the Hall of Fame.
Let's go.